Second story, take two.
Is everybody comfy? I am. Let's begin. So we're going to talk about Adam and Eve. God made them these very special creatures. The man he named Adam and the woman he named Eve, and they were more like God than anything else that God had made. They were humans, and they could feel and think, and they could dream up big dreams and create things, and the most important, they could be friends with God. The earth was a pretty wild place, so God planted a garden for Adam and Eve to live in, and he called it Eden. Inside the garden, Adam and Eve had everything they needed. They had beauty, they had order, they had plenty. Best of all, they had friendship with God. God gave Adam and Eve a great, amazing, huge job. Take the beauty, the order, and the plenty of the garden and spread it everywhere. Make the whole earth like a garden and spread it. Make lots of kids. Lots of kids. So God's family could get bigger and bigger. So love and joy and friendship and beauty and order and plenty could fill the whole earth. What a great, amazing, huge job they had. Of course, friendship needs trust. If Adam and Eve wanted to be God's friends, they needed to trust Him. They needed to listen to God. That would be easy, right? If God is good and powerful and never wrong, trusting Him should be pretty easy. And it was for a while. But there was one tree. There were lots of trees in the garden, of course, and many were covered with fruit, apples and pear trees and orange trees and lemon trees and apricot trees, more fruit than Adam and Eve could possibly eat. But there was one particular tree in the garden that was different. And God said, "Don't eat the fruit from that tree." Just one tree? A gazillion trees with fruit that they could eat? And just one tree they couldn't touch? Well, would they listen to God? Would they stay away from that one tree? What would you do? Well, Adam and Eve were doing just fine listening to God until a new voice showed up in the garden. This voice belonged to an enemy of God, and it was coming from a snake, a sneaky snake. And the snake said, "Are you sure God said you can't eat the fruit from that tree?" Adam and Eve said that they were sure. And if they ate that fruit, that they would die. And then the snake did something that no one had ever done before in God's beautiful world. The snake lied. "You surely would not die," he said. "No, if you eat the fruit of that tree, you will become wise and smart like God." Whoa! What should Adam and Eve do? It would be great to be as wise as God. And then they wouldn't have to listen to God all the time. And they'd know everything too. Who should they trust? This sneaky snake? Or God? Who would you trust? Adam and Eve decided to trust the snake and go their own way. And Adam and Eve ate the fruit they weren't supposed to eat. And that's how sin entered into the world. They didn't die, but they didn't obey either. So then they started to feel really bad. But we'll talk about that at our next story time, okay? So I hope you enjoyed the story. Make sure you're listening to God.